So, how are you doing today?
Great, man.
What's
It's
your
good to
name?
be here. My name is Josh Rodriguez.
All right, Josh. So, tell me a little bit about your story, like where it begins, your life growing up.
I grew up in Little Elm, Texas, which is north of here, much north of here. Started in the colony, then moved to Little Elm when I was a kid. Uh, High school and middle school, all of that was at Little Elm. It's not very far from where my parents worked. Obviously, they were in Dallas. Commuted to Little Elm every day. But for me as a kid, man, it was excellent growing up in Little Elm. I really loved it. It was an interesting scene of people that weren't like the high society of like a Frisco, Texas, which, a lot of money was at. Little Elm was a little offshoot of it. And I enjoyed music and movies and video games, and I just found my group of people within that. It took me a while to find my people in that, though.
What was one of the biggest challenges you faced in life?
I think just the outside looking in, I think my family dynamic was really interesting growing up. My parents were very caring, very loving. My brothers were about 10 years older than me collectively and were tough on me, because my parents got to a financial comfortability later on whenever I was like a kid versus like the kind of like rough upbringing that my brothers had. So they kind of resented me for that a little bit. And so it was tough growing up feeling like privileged compared to like my brothers in the same family, but that's kind of like part of the American dream. It's like you build it from the ground up. And at least for me, when I was a kid, it was tough to kind of have that, like, I didn't realize everything that my family went through. And then kind of whenever I was growing up, it was kind of easy going, but I think there was a lot of resentment there, at least towards me.
Did it affect you in any kind of way?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I always felt the need to, I don't know, I guess I just felt like bad, I guess, about just being myself at the time. And my brothers were, like I said, they were kind of tough. But eventually, I think we all kind of grew up and felt very close. But I think at first there was just the resentment there. But I felt loved and everything. It wasn't a matter of like, I hated growing up.
So, given all that, were there any moments that changed the direction of your life?
Yes. So, like I said before, it took me a while to like find my people, find people that were interested in the same things that I was. Like even like my favorite music growing up, it was just not what everybody else was listening to. I was in like an offshoot of like metal or something like that, where it's like I didn't have those kids around me to kind of show me like, oh yeah, this is what I listen to too. Nobody had the same interests that I did. Until like I found a group of kids that liked wrestling and metal and video games and movies, and that was really like the big trajectory change for me, because it's like, oh, there are people like me that exist.
So, even though you found your people, did you still face any like internal struggles?
Yeah, for sure. My mom was always like super conscious of like my weight at all times, and still today I kind of hear her voice in my head like for any reason, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's always been really tough, kind of like having that same voice. And like even now, she'll bring it up. It's like things are going well, or like my job's going real well. She's like, okay, well, are you eating well? I'm like, shit, man, like everything's good so far, but thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate it. So fat shaming, super positive outlook for me in my life.
So, I'm guessing your mom is what helped you keep going during difficult times.
Yes and
In a
no.
way.
She kind of created some of those difficult times, but also she's very positive and always looking out for me. She wants the best for me, of course, but it was just that one kind of like physical attribute about me that she was always like, are you going to fix this, or are we going to continue on this path?
So, looking back now, what do you want people to take away from your story?
That you can always find your people, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are. I think there are, even if you feel different from anybody else, or if you feel like the things that you're interested in don't interest anybody else, the fact that you are interested in those things makes you interesting, no matter what it is. It can be music. Like if it's a band that like nobody else likes, people tend to cling on the fact that you like that band so much, and they're interested in the aspects that you find interesting about them.
Okay. So, give us a final lesson or message you'll leave with others.
Message to leave with others. It is, of course, that kind of age-old adage of find your tribe. I'm definitely about that, finding like-minded people, but also finding people that differ from you as well, and being open to all relationships, whether that's, not necessarily tumultuous, but like being able to differ with people and still agree on the fact it's like, I want you to do well, I want me to do well. How can we compromise on anything? It can be anything.